Did you know that when we sprint, we make use of our natural reflexes? There are two reflexes in particular that are quite relevant. And if you improve these two reflexes, they can actually help you improve your sprinting. So if you're interested in finding out how you can improve your sprinting by improving your reflexes, then keep watching. Hi guys, and welcome back to Fit with T. I hope you guys are good. So this is another video in my Sprinting ABC series, and today we're on the letter X and we're talking about reflexes. So first of all, I want to say a shout out to Mohit for giving me this idea, my YouTube bestie. Thank you so much, because the letter X is very hard, guys. This alphabet series, I tell you, the Lord God Almighty has helped me, because some of these letters are very, very hard. So in today's video, I'm going to be answering the question, what is a reflex, number one? What two reflexes are relevant when it comes to sprinting? And I'm also going to give you guys some exercises or some drills that you can do to help you improve your reflexes, okay? So first and foremost, what is a reflex? Now, I think the most simple example to give of this is that example of when a doctor taps your knee and then your leg automatically kicks out. So you're sitting on a table, sitting on a bed, or sitting on a chair, the doctor taps your knee and your leg automatically extends. Now, this has personally never happened to me, but I'm sure you've watched it on TV, whether it's a cartoon or something, you've seen that example before, right? So this is an example of a reflex. It's something natural that occurs. It's an automatic response to a stimulus, right? So in the case of the knee tap, the doctor has used a hammer to tap the knee and the leg has extended. Or for example, you may have stepped on something before, maybe something sharp. I've definitely done that. And your automatic reaction is to put your weight onto the other leg and then pull back the leg that you actually hurt, the foot that you stepped on the nail with. You automatically pull it up and the other leg stiffens in order to take the weight of your body, in order to help bring back the other foot and to stabilize you, right? Or another example might be, let's say you're falling, someone rudely trips you up, or you trip over your laces or something like that. Your foot automatically comes through, or your arms go forward as a reflex in order to protect you, in order to stop you from hurting yourself, in order to help you as you fall, right? So these are all examples of reflexes. And the last two that I mentioned, the one with the nail and also the one where you trip, right? They're kind of protective reflexes. So they're natural reflexes that we actually have already that occur in our daily life. But actually, when it comes to sprinting, we also make use of it. But when we think about it really anyway, sprinting is not just a sport. It's not something that you just do for fitness or for a sporting activity. It's something that you would use in everyday life. Let's say in an event of running from a tiger. I mean, that might not be a situation, but you get my point. Running from something or trying to protect yourself in some way, and where you have to fight or flight, right? So when you go for a flight, when you go for a fight, you can see why those protective reflexes might come. If someone yanks your arm, you might pull that arm back and automatically push them away. That's also a reflex. Some people freeze, but in a fight position, that would be what would happen, right? So in sprinting, can you see how these two reflexes, which would be called the cross extensor reflex and also the stumble reflex or the slip reflex, some people might call it that, those two protective reflexes, can you see how they can be applied for sprinting? So first of all, let's talk about the stumble reflex, right? So the stumble reflex, the one where you're almost falling and your knee comes through or your foot comes through in order to stop you from falling. Where can you see this being applied in sprinting? In the start, in the acceleration part of your race, right? So when you're in that horizontal, that 45-degree angle almost as you gradually coming up, in order to stop yourself from falling, you're gonna have to utilize your stumble reflexes. You're gonna have to drive those knees through and also utilize your arms. I've got two videos. I've got one about the upper body, one about the arms. So check out both of those videos, because it talks about how the arms also are important for sprinting. But when it comes to that stumble reflex, when we're in that 45-degree angle, coming out of the blocks, coming out of the start, in the dry phase, the better your reflexes are, the better you're able to actually drive your knee through, utilize your arms in coordination in that position where you're in an almost falling position. It's not a natural position to be in on a day-to-day basis. We can't go around in that, we can't really go around in that position, right? So you're gonna have to get the foot through quickly in order to run fast, which is what you're aiming to do if you're here on Fit with T. Second of all, the other one I spoke about was the cross extensor reflex, right? So where, let's say you stepped on a nail, the foot draws away from the painful object and the other one stiffens in order to take the weight of the body. And so you can see in sprinting as well how that can be applied, right? So when you drive that foot into the ground and the other one comes up, the stiffer your leg is, the better able you are to have that kind of equal ability to react, the better you're going to be at sprinting, the more reactive you're going to be off of the ground. And so I've spoken about ankle stiffness in this video, and I'm going to link it for you guys at the end of this video as well, just to talk a bit more about ankle stiffness. But since we're on the letter X and we're talking about reflexes, I know that it's not X, but reflex, XX, cross extensor reflex, that's close enough. I think I deserve a thumbs up for that. It's close enough. But yeah, cross extensor reflex. You can see how that's important and how that stiffness is going to help you to be able to react off of the ground quicker. The harder you drive that foot into the ground, the more naturally the other foot comes through. I like to call it switching, that ability to switch, the better you get at that. So I want to end this video by giving you guys a couple of exercises that you might want to implement into your training just to help with these kind of areas, okay? The first one is to help with that stumble reflex, that ability to drive your knee through when you're in that almost falling position, right? And so what you can do is set yourself up in the gym with a box, and you can choose the height that you want to go to. The idea is to practice just falling forward and driving your knee through. It's very simple, but it's just practicing it in a stationary position. I guess a precursor for going actually out of the blocks or something like that, right? But it's just another way to practice that reactivity. Again, just solidifying those neural connections in your body where your ability to drive the knee through quickly when you're in that falling position, okay? So essentially you're just falling forward and then you drive the knee through as close to the last minute as possible. The more you do it, the more, I guess, confident you'll get in actually going lower and lower. Haven't done this drill for a while personally, so I may not be going as low as I may do if I continue to do this, right? So this is one drill that you can implement. Like I said, you can do it at different heights on the box, so you can choose how high you want to do it. I don't have a name for it, but we'll call it the fall-in knee drive drill with a plier box, right? Okay, and so the second one that I want to give you guys is where you're going to drive your foot down into a box. So again, you can try this with different height boxes, okay? So of course, if the box is slightly lower, it's going to be easier for you to, I guess, apply that cross extensor reflex, because when the box is a bit lower, you have a bit more time to kind of straighten, whereas when it's higher, you're going to have to really apply a lot of force in order to really get that leg stiff. You start with the knee up above the box, and then you drive your foot down into the box as hard as you can and really try to extend. The better you actually get at extending, the more you're going to be able to plyometrically spring or react off of the box. That's the idea. It's a bit plyometric. So you drive that foot down, and of course the stiffer you're able to get with it, the more force you're going to be able to apply and the higher you're going to be able to jump off of the box, right, with that single leg. So again, you can try it at different heights, a lower height and also a higher height. And the third one, which may be a little bit complex depending on how good your coordination is, right, you do a step down off the box, and with the other leg you automatically bring it up and you step onto the box, okay? So you step down on the floor and then onto the box. So the different heights, you basically have to really train your body to be able to be stiff no matter what happens. And sometimes in a race you may stumble. If you haven't seen this video where I talk about missing a step, that kind of thing that can happen sometimes, a drill like this can actually be useful for that, where your body, your reflexes are developed to a point where even if you do stumble or miss a step, you're able to recover that quickly. You know, that protective mechanism where you can still bring your foot through, you don't fall over, you miss a step, but you're able to recover and continue sprinting. This is the kind of drill that you can add. So again, these drills, guys, like with every video that I make, it's just suggestions. You can make it your own. Hopefully it gets your creative juices flowing as well, and thinking about ways that you can implement these kind of things into your training, okay? So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section below, what topics can you think of that begin with X when it comes to sprinting, because this was a very difficult one for me. But if you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up to let me know, to let the algorithm know, and so that more athletes like you can see this video. And if you haven't seen this video where I talk about what ankle stiffness is and why it's important for sprinting, then check that out. Or this video that YouTube recommends is best for you, then check those out next, and I'll see you guys on another Friday. Bye guys.